You're welcome to another edition of Motherland. Do hit to like and subscribe in order to help us grow our channel. Today we'll be looking at Queen Nzinga, the monarch of the Mbundu people, who fought against the Portuguese and their expanding slave trade in Central Africa. A brief account of the life and times of one of the earliest recorded African warrior queen, Queen Nzinga, also known as Nzinga Dona Anne de Souza, renowned for her strategic military tactics and political and diplomatic intelligence. Born as Princess Nzinga among the Mbundu group of the Ndongo Kingdom in the Central West African region, now known as Angola. Her father was Ngola Kalajwa. The word Angola refers to the title of the ruling chief, which later developed into the national name for the region. Her mother reportedly had no blood ties to the royal family within the landed chieftaincy system. Nzinga had one brother, Ngola Mbandi, and two sisters, Kufinji and Mukambu. Though she resisted Portuguese colonial occupation of Central West Africa for over 4 decades, she officially ruled Ndongo from 1624 to 1626 and also 1657 to 1663. The earliest European record of Nzinga was a report of her inclusion in her brother's envoy to a 1622 peace conference before the Portuguese Luanda governor, João Correia de Souza. Luanda is an Atlantic coastal city, the largest city in Angola and the country's capital. An historical account of the conference includes the famous tale of Correia de Souza not offering Nzinga a chair, instead placing a floor mat before her to sit. In a 1690 book, the Italian priest Giovanni Antonio Cavazzi, in attendance at the court, memorialized the scene in an engraving whereby Nzinga asserted her status by sitting on the back of a maid-servant within her royal envoy during the course of the negotiations. Though a treaty was signed with the Portuguese at the peace conference, it was never honored by them. They soon hired Mbangala to fight against the Ndongo Kingdom as they pursued to capture slaves to further their national slave trading export interests to the so-called New World. Prior to Nzinga's birth, the Portuguese had settled along the southern part of the Congo River and began moving up the Kwanza River Valley in search of slaves and gold. According to historical reports, the Mbangala in the 17th century mostly comprised band of pillaging warriors native to this region. Founders of the Kingdom of Kasanje, they aided the Portuguese colonial campaigns as early as those of Luis Mendes the Vasconcelos in 1618. The Mbangala's historical marauding custom were reportedly abandoned by the late 17th century. The Mbundu's tradition prohibits women rulers. Upon Nzinga's brother's death, she became regent to his son, Kiza. She soon convinced the Portuguese to support her bid to the throne. In 1622, she was baptized and took the Christian name Ana, the surname of the Luanda governor, de Souza, and the Portuguese title Dona. Hence, Princess Nzinga became known as Dona Ana de Souza in her political move to help secure her succession of the Ndongo Kingdom throne. The Portuguese began negotiating directly with Nzinga. The arrival of Fernão de Souza in 1624 started with discussion with her, but because she was not submissive to the Portuguese, ended with her ouster from Kindonga. That same year, she is reported to refer to herself as Reina de Andongo, Queen of Andongo. After the Portuguese ouster, Nzinga continued fighting against the Portuguese while in exile. She fled east but reclaimed the island in 1627. She was again driven out by the Portuguese in 1629, the year her sister was captured by the military forces. By 1641, Nzinga had entered among the earliest African-European alliance against a European nation when she entered into negotiation with the Dutch. In 1646, her army defeated the Portuguese at Davanga, but her other sister was captured. By 1647, her alliance with the Dutch was fruitful in the seizure of Masangono from the Portuguese. In 1648, her army retreated to Matamba, a pre-colonial African kingdom located as Baksha de Kazange region of Malenja province of modern-day Angola. In a 1657 speech, Queen Nzinga reportedly stated to her army that an alliance with Mbangala was then a necessary evil in the military war against the Portuguese. In the same year, however, she signed a peace treaty with the Portuguese she has fought against their colonial and slave-raiding attacks for decades. Queen Nzinga died on December 17, 1663 at the age of 80. Unfortunately, her death accelerated Portuguese colonial occupation as well as their Atlantic slave trade activities in Central West Africa. We know you must have heard about some of the contrary reports about Queen Nzinga and of course how she executed male slaves after sleeping with them. Well, I must categorically say these were just fabricated stories in order to taint her image. She was a legend in her region and most especially in Angola. Well, this is where we stop on today's edition of Motherland. Please do well to subscribe in order to help us grow our channel. Until we meet again, this is Motherland.